So another question from AQA Paper 1. It's another trace table. So in this case, we've got an array which has got 10 elements. I've just numbered them at the top for their index. So that's what the index numbers are going to look like. So we've got a value that is 21. So it's not included in the table because it doesn't change. So it could be used as a constant, but I'm writing it here to remind me what it is. So then they've done the first bit of the trace table for us. So found gets false, that's been put in there for us. Finished gets false, that's been put in there for us. I gets 0, it's in there. And down gets false, and that's been put in there for us. So then we start with the while loop. So we've got a while loop there, and it ends down here. So while found equals false and finished equals false, well, they do both equal false, so we're going to do something here. So if array at I equals value, so array at I is currently 0, so the array at 0 is 3. So that's the first thing we're going to pull out and think of that. So it's 3. So if array at I, which is 3, is equivalent to value, well, value is 21, so it's not. So we don't do this bit. Else, if array at I is greater than value, well, it's not, it's less than the value, so we're not going to do that. So if array at I is less than value and down equals true, no, it's not, because down is not equal to true. Else I gets I plus 4. So we're going to add 4 to I. We are going to write that into the table. So I gets I plus 4. End if, end if, end if, end while. We go back up here. While find is false and finished is false. Well, they are still false. So if array at I equal to value, so array at I now, I is now 4. So that is 11. So it's not the same as value. So that bit doesn't happen. Else if array at I is greater than value, it's not, it's less than value. Else if array at I is less than value, yes it is, and down is true, no it's not. So we're just going to add 4 again to I. So I gets I plus 4. I is now becoming 8. So we come down here to end while and we go back up. So while found is false and finished is false, yes they still are. If the array at I is value, so I is now 8. So we look along here, 8 is 34. So is it the same as value? No. Else if array at I is more than value, well it is now, 34 is more than 21, then down equals true. So I can write this. I don't want to write down, do I? I want to write true. True. There it is, true. I equals I minus 1, so I becomes 7. So then we come down to the bottom, we go back up to the while loop. While found is false and finished is false, well they still are. If array at I equals value, well array at I is now 7. And so the value at 7 is 18. So they're not equivalent. Else, if array at I is more than value, it's not, it's less. Otherwise, if array at I is less than value and down equals true, well actually now that is the case, it is less and down is true. Finished gets true. There we go, finished is true. Else, no, end if, end while found equals false and finished equals false. Well, now that's not true, so we're going to stop. So we've now finished, we've finished the algorithm. So found remains at false, finished changed to true here. We've got 487 in here, and down became true, and we didn't find the value 21.